started recording it now because.
Okay. Can I go first?
Yeah.
Can I pull the elder card?
Yeah.
Got it. Go ahead.
Shut up. My husband's over here. Okay, so looking at the APs, performance, profit, platform, preemptive, purpose, profile, power, and passion. My first one is going to be profit, because when I look at it, and when anybody else is looking at it, especially for a club owner, without the profit, you can't have the rest of them. If you don't have the money coming in, if you don't have that profit, it's you're null and void. My least would be platform. Depending on the club's platform, you could alienate people from being fans. If you are all inclusive, you're pushing everybody away. And as long as you're being vanilla and general in whatever you're doing, you can bring fans to this. But it's kind of like, I guess when I thought about alienating people from being fans, I think we all know about Chick-fil-A being against homosexuals. And, that's brought a lot of protests against Chick-fil-A, and they really haven't lost any profit, but at the same time, that's been something that's negative. I guess through NFL, it's kind of like, and I think this is kind of testy through NFL. And I'd love for you guys just to like open up, go ahead and be off mute, because I want you all to open up and talk to me about this with the NFL, going their platform. What is NFL's platform? Are they going with Black Lives Matter? Are they going with, okay, we're going to stand and hold our hand to our hearts for national anthem, that kind of thing? That platform, I think, kind of hurts, may help. So I think that's probably on the 8Ps. That's going to be the lowest, just for me personally, because I think that's such a tornado of things. So help me out on this.
No, I agree with you, like especially on the ownership perspective, like with the platform, like if you're winning and stuff and all fans' eyes are on the players, there's so many players that have platforms and they have so many different views on every single thing. Everyone comes from a different walk of life. So you don't know what they're going to portray. And like as the owner, like you want what your business portrays. So like other people can affect what you want to be seen as. So it can really hurt you.
I mean, I feel like it's just a complicated subject. Just like you said, with so many people coming from so many different walks of life, and everybody in the eyes of everybody. I feel like we have universally moral principles, but it's a fine line in between some things as far as what people believe and what they don't believe. So, on platform, it's kind of tricky, especially in pro sports, because it's like you want to be, you want to represent your players, but in a sport like football, having so many players, it's like, okay, how do you universally represent each side to feel like that they feel like they have their voice heard. So I mean, it's as far as the APs, I would consider that as one of the lower ones. Although it is important,
Yeah.
it's just hard to it's hard to manage in that sense.
I think it is, and especially globally, because I I went ahead and uploaded I guess my it wasn't peer reviewed because I couldn't find anything on it, but I went ahead and uploaded about Manchester United and about their profit. We own stock in Manchester United. You guys are young. I get it. I'm 46, but I swear to you, if you'll start looking at, you know, uh, look into if you're excited about sports and about professional sports, look into those that are that you can buy stock in because it, I think it's amazing. It makes it fun to own part of Manchester United. Um, and I'm sorry, I'm hoarse. Manchester United, the owners also own Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've never been a Tampa Bay fan, but I married a Patriots fan and love some Tom Brady. He's pretty amazing. So now he's down there, and we've also had somebody from Tusculum go to Tampa Bay and kind of play there. So when you're looking at stuff like that, looking at profits and looking at how to make that money, that's a big deal. But then with the platform, um, I just think you have to be careful. I think that's got to be the lowest on the eight because you don't want to get rid of anybody. I don't, Amber, I don't want to get rid of you and say, I don't like volleyball players. Lex, I don't know anything about you. I don't want to get rid of anybody because they're wearing red. Malik, I don't like anybody because they're wearing a 3/4 zip up and a black long sleeve. It's just you have to be so careful on your platform, um, especially if you're wanting to make a profit. Um, that's just where I guess I go on my top and my bottom. So
I got a question for you.
yeah,
So, with profit being your top, right? We talk about money and financial situations.
yeah.
What do you feel like can some of the negative things that can stem from that, with that being, let's say, ownership's top priority?
I don't think there can be honestly anything negative from a profit. Um, when you've got the profit, you have everything on that list. You've got uh, the money to reach out to the correct platform to be broad and bring everybody in. You've got the money to have the purpose to what you want to do. Um, you've got that money. If you are a club owner and you've got millions of dollars and you're putting it into a club, apparently you've got a passion for that club, just like Manchester United. Um, you've got that money for the power, and it may be positive, it may be negative, which I'm kind of on the fence about that because there's been so many clubs that They've got somebody who has that money that's in power, and they're giving that money out to other teams to say, why don't you lose that game? Or giving the money to somebody and saying, if you don't win this game, we're coming after your family. And the purpose. Uh, you've got that money for that purpose, for that club. So that's. I'm hoping I'm answering.
Yeah, I mean, you highlighted one aspect. Oh, I'm sorry, Amber. Go ahead.
No, you go, you go.
No, I was just saying. I think you highlighted one aspect of something that can come out of negative, and you talk about how sometimes there are legal practices that go on behind the scenes as far as like offering money for a player to lose a game. You talk about situations of point shaving where obviously if that team win, they come out on the winning end, they receive a profit. I
Yeah.
remember in the NFL, I think it was something with the Saints where one of their defensive coordinators were, basically putting bounties on players' head, in
Mm-hmm.
order to like, hey, you knock this person out or you take him out, you get a little more money. Obviously,
Yeah.
which will work out in their favor and help them win games, which in turn would help profits. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it isn't anything negative. I mean, if you look at it from the scope as business is business, like, you're gonna do whatever it is to succeed. I feel like it's some
Yeah.
negative things that can stem from that.
When you
You
when
kind of,
you got that money, that money's going to talk, and it's just like MMA. I'm trying to think. Maybe 10 years ago, um, MMA was not allowed in Tennessee because of people having so much money and trying to, uh, I guess, Jack A had this guy that was fighting, and Jack B had this guy was fighting, and it was, all about money. And Tennessee's like, no, we're not doing it. And then when it was legal for MMA to come to Tennessee, and they were saying, okay, it needs to be not people who uh, have the most money in that fighter. It just needs to be. It needs to be a clean fight. That was a big deal, and I was at that first fight. But I was also, at some fights in Las Vegas where, you know, big money said you lose in round two.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. Money talks.
Definitely.
I have a question. So I agree that like you need money, you need a profit to be able to run a business. Like that's the number one goal. But don't you think you also need like a platform to make a profit? So like I know, I get platform can be very negative, but in a sense, like you need to have the platform and you need to use the platform to make a profit in some aspects, right?
I I get where you're coming from, but 9 times out of 10, it's not the platform. Because let's go, let's let's take away from sports and let's go to American Cancer Society. What is their platform? Their platform is we're going to beat cancer. I started a nonprofit with my best friend to try and uh, raise funds for cancer research. When we started looking into it, American Cancer Association or research, whatever, um, their money does not go straight to research. Their money goes into the CFO, the CEO, all of those pockets. So they can have a great platform of we want to. Are you serious right now?
Sorry.
Their platform can be we want to crush cancer. Okay, well, we've been given millions of dollars to you and you haven't done anything. Word of God. I swear to God. I'm gonna kill him. I've been married to him for 20 years, but tonight I'm gonna kill him. But anyway, their platform of all that money goes to research is BS. So I'm gonna have to disagree that that to have a platform. I think it's great, maybe like middle down in the 8Ps, but to be a higher 8P, 9 times out of 10, just um, one. Somebody go next before just
I can go. Okay, so like the APs of club ownership motives, and this is like how management makes decisions. So there's performance, which I think, and it's like winning's important, and this can enhance profit profile and power. Some coaches emphasize it, where some really don't. It's not the main thing that's emphasized. Then there's profit, and you can make profit from like assets and earning it from operating activities or capital appreciation. There's platforms which can help the investors enhance their value. You can invest in parts of things to make a platform. Then there's preemptive, um, which was when you're motivated to acquire things that aren't like the sporting club, like media and stuff like that. Like you want to try to get the best of that. Then there's purpose, to keep your club where you're at, invest in civic pride, not just money. Profile, when ownership brings recognition that other assets don't provide. Power, influential figures, and then passion. This can enable involvement, give emotional connection, and engage people, especially who have a love for the game. Personally, my top one, if we were asked our question, like our top P for motive and then our least favorite, mine is performance. I think if you look in the aspect of like the NFL and stuff, performance enhances profit, your profile, your power. I think when you're winning and you're doing good and your team is on the top of every ad, the top of every advertisement, it makes all the other 7Ps better and helps enhance every single thing. When you're not winning, your team is less talked about, your platforms least. You're obviously making less of a profit because you're losing. I don't know how much passion's there when you're just losing. If you care more, care less, your purpose, I think, is a little diminished. So without winning, without having a good performance, I think it hurts all the other Ps. I will agree. My least favorite P is platform, because honestly, of the topics that you brought up, Jess, like there's so many people on a team that have so many different opinions about things, and that can hurt the ownership. And then the ownership has to make a decision on what their platform and what they stand as, and it's affecting fans, and fans have different opinions. So if your platform's one thing, you can lose so many other fans. You can make your players mad and not want to play. Like they can hold riot, whatever, they cannot play. So it's affecting so many more people than just the ownership, and it can hurt profit. It can hurt everything, performance, even if players aren't happy with things. It can hurt the purpose of the game. So I think that one can diminish everything too. So those are for my top and bottom. So then the article I found is it was like, do motives matter? It was really hard to find article, and it talked about instrumental motives, relational and moral motives. So the instrumental motives were like investments. So these would be profit, platform, purpose, performance. So it's like a high level, but like the article was stating like the moral motives were like the highest level and like the best. The moral motives would be more of like passion, performance, purpose, and platform. And then relational would be like obviously relationships, satisfying the demands of other people and stakeholders. So that would be performance, power, profile, and purpose. So in the sense of like sport, I so much don't agree with the article saying that like moral motives outweigh instrumental and relational, because I think relational an instrumental outweigh the moral in the sense of ownership of a business and sports team, because you're out there to build relationships, to make money, to make a profit. You're not so much trying to do the best thing, what's right, like what you believe in. It's a business. You're just trying to do as good as you can to win, to make money, not just to do what you believe in and stuff like that. So I didn't agree with the article very much.
Okay. I got a question.
Yes.
So when you talk about performance being at the top, would it have so many positives, like you said, when everything's going good, it's profit being made and so on and so forth. Like,
Are they?
would you see performance as almost like a double-edged sword in a sense that, in more simplistic terms, when everything's going good, everything's going good. But when everything's bad, it kind of you have a lot of underlying issues that get highlighted in that sense. So what do you think about that?
I think, yes, performance is the most important motive. Like, you want to win because it highlights everything else. And it's also a very important motive because when things are going bad, like things are going bad. So if you're not performing, all your bad crap is out. Everything's highlighted. So I think that's why it has to be the important motive, because if you're losing, you're not making anything. So like that has to be the highest importance in my stake, that you have to be performing or everything's just going to go bad kind of thing.
Okay, but when you're talking about performance and, if you're not doing great, it's just going to go bad. I'm hoping nobody's a Dallas Cowboys.
I was just about to tell you that you might want to
But
slow your stop.
what about, like, I can remember when I was young, 85, 86, loving, Dallas Cowboys. And, they were good and they were bad, and they were good and they were bad. And I've got a best friend she's just like, oh my God, I'm die hard and I'm going, and they suck, for like 10 years and they're great for like a minute or a game. So that performance thing, what helped me understand.
I see where you're coming from. So like honestly, like
Okay.
passion outweighs performance almost, because every single team, every single state has their diehard fans. And honestly, like I like the Steelers because my parents like are diehard Steelers fans. If they're
Yeah.
winning, losing, or whatever, we're still Steelers fans. And I think that's every single person has their team that they're a fan for. So yes, passion will outweigh that. And yes, then I see what you're saying. Like performance isn't the most important to make everything go above and beyond, because everyone's going to stick with their team no matter if they're winning or losing.
But do you think that maybe there's that one person or one coach or one, I don't know, entity for that team that is the performance candle or firework instead of that passion? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think of, help me, Cowboys. Um,
Like Tom Brady leaving, like now everyone's going to go for Tampa Bay.
yeah, but who was the guy that, oh God, I can't think, Dak, that just got hurt for the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, and everybody, like everywhere, no matter what team, they're just like, yes, oh my God, yes, okay, let's pray for him. He's great.
Mhm.
It's that performance. Um, Maybe, I don't know.
I also think though, like with bad performance, like if you talk about like TV and media and you bring in that stuff, like you're gonna lose profit if you're losing. How many people are gonna stop? I know some people like, oh, my team's lose, like they just suck this year. Like I'm gonna stop tuning in. I'm gonna stop watching them. Like stop following along, and like
Yeah,
you lose like profit on that aspect, or you can potentially lose fans due to performance. But I don't think it can also not make it or break it. But
but there's that one person that that everybody goes, oh my God, let's pray for him. Let's give him, all of this, and boom, you've got that, performance. So that's great. That's awesome. Of course, my husband's in the background. He was like, yes, oh my God, your discussion group is like kick ass.
Mm.
Oh my God,
Oh my.
oh.
Lex, you got a question before I go?
No, y'all kind of covered everything.
So I'll go next.
I'm gonna fail.
Obviously, like we highlighted on the 8 P's of ownership, performance, profit, platform, preemptive, purpose, profile, power, and passion. And for me, I was kind of conflicted between the two. Which one, I wanted to be my top because, like the book said, it's never really like out of all the 8 P's, it's not like one single driving force for it. It's kind of a combination, but some of them are more prevalent than others. So I was kind of conflicted to choose between purpose and passion, but ultimately I ended up choosing passion because I feel like passion is the most important because it entails of just like intrinsic motivation and autonomy. Like you gotta have like, well, look like we running out of time. Um,
Yeah,
like
just
the book says, ownership of a sporting club can enable that person to be closely involved with many aspects of the club and also to have the emotional connection to the sport to a heightened level. So it's more so for the sport itself. I know everybody heard the phrase like for the love of the game.
Yeah.
That entails like intrinsic motivation. And I feel like as long as you like have intrinsic motivation and that autonomy, like you have a true love and passion for something, like it's so many things like that can still be like in spite of negative things occurring. Like when we talk about performance, right? As long as you like truly love the game, like you're gonna continue to push and drive, like no matter the outcome or the results, such as like maybe low profits, maybe bad performance, and maybe things of that nature. So I just feel like passion drives you. I kind of in conjunction with purpose, but I got like I said, I keep passion at its highest. It kind of drives you like in spite of whatever takes place, out of everything.
I agree
Um,
with that.
Obviously, some people would disagree, I think, because it tends more to the emotional part of it, the emotional aspect of it. Um, Sometimes emotion can cloud judgment in certain situations, so I think that's important to be noted. Um, for the one I would probably put at more towards the totem of the bottom totem pole. I'm sorry, is on preemptive. The book talked about it, just basically saying that companies competing with each other in the non-sporting area acquire sporting clubs to prevent their rivals from acquiring. And then basically like they just create strategies basically to put other companies at a disadvantage. I mean, in a business aspect, it's like you got to be a shark in the water. You want to swim, you want to dominate competition, so on and so forth. But I feel like the more your attention as an owner is channeled towards that, I feel like it kind of takes away from other things that are of greater importance. So that's why I kind of feel like that one is further down at the bottom of the totem pole in my eyes. I know the book highlighted an example of it which was News Corp basically buying the LA Dodgers to prevent ESPN from basically creating having dominance over and basically creating a rival sports network. In a business sense, that may be seen as a smart move, but I don't feel like that. Like not, that just doesn't seem as one of the most important P's to me, and out of all 8 of them. And for my article, I found this article. The title of it is "The Consequences and Non-Consequences of Ownership Change," and it's a case study basically about Major League Baseball. I mean, and it doesn't apply with all of the 8 Ps, but one thing that was interesting that it highlighted was that it kind of goes over is when they talk about new owners. When they first come into ownership, how that they might sacrifice profit in order to basically come out and kind of increase performance. And that was interesting to me because that is something, I think in the last discussion group, we talked about how, I know I did, I talked about how the San Francisco Giants kind of paid a hefty tab to acquire Barry Bonds. And obviously he was one of the
Yeah.
most prominent free agents then, but, they kind of had to cough up and sacrifice profits, in order to create them in the long run. And when you talk about passion and just that emotional appeal, Barry Bonds already had ties to the organization. So I feel like that was something that was interesting within this article. And they talked about some other things like how new ownership may affect uniforms and other things of that nature. But I'm gonna kind of cut it off. I see you running out of time. Y'all want to ask some quick questions? Go ahead and I'll answer.
I like how you brought up passion because passion is a good way to make profit because fans are passionate about the team or the organization. That increases profit. The players are passionate, which increases performance. And if the organization owners are passionate, it can make them like come up with totally different ideas and motives to get to the peak of every single PE, I guess you could say.
Right.
And I think we were actually in the same discussion about Barry Bonds.
Right.
I think that was fantastic because, he was born in California. He was kind of raised up in Candlestick Park, and they brought him back there, even though that was like a ton of money. Look what he did. And, God, in the long run. But it was that, just that,
I just think about the new ownership that came in, like how they wanted to show the fans that they were just as passionate about San Francisco Giants baseball as they.
Yes.
So that was important. I see we kind of running out of time, so Lex, you might.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna talk really fast.
Gotcha.
All right, so for the most important one, I chose passion. I feel like passion is like the secret to success. So like passion kind of like fuels the creativity, aspiration, resilience, persistence. Passion can be effective with social interactions. So my article, I know this is like probably completely off topic with the whole entire class, but I chose passion and personality because if you don't have like personality or the passion, like you're not going to have those social interactions, So also feel like passion can be like somewhat negative because if you don't have passion, you don't have the motivation, and motivation is what inspires people. So the least important, I put power because I feel like owners kind of like have like complete control of whatever they want to do or what, I'm saying, like, but that's really all I have for that because, really you have to be passionate and you have to have purpose. You have to have the performance and a good profile in order to be like really successful. So I don't know how much time we got left. So like, I kind of just, made it short.
No, and that's fine. I think, yeah, I think we've all just like conglomerated in on all of this. I think passion is, I think it's extremely important. But of course, you're talking to the director of spirit programs. I think that I try to get that passion into, football and soccer and volleyball and all that stuff. But when you're coming in as an owner and you've got millions of dollars going into a club, it can't just be for I gotta be PC, farts and giggles. It's got to be about passion, because you have to have that.
It's hard to be motivated if you don't have passion.
No.
Obviously,
Yeah.
the motives to winning or like to being a good manager and stuff. So.
And then turn it back around. I mean, I could have a team called the Turds, but come to Amber and be like, let me tell you about the Turds. They are amazing and beautiful, and just God, wait till you see them on, my outside hitter and my middle, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so ready. that passion.
Your passion. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's great, Lex.
I can't believe the
Thanks.
time didn't go.
Yes, of course I'm looking at you kind of sideways. 'Cause,
Sorry, I'm on my phone.
Oh,
My laptop
you know,
camera is so
everybody
bad.
else like,
Sorry.
oh, so
And you know, like iPhones now, you have to have the headphones. So,
well, I'm on a laptop.
so yeah, I don't have no AirPods. You know.
Well,
So.
you've heard my husband and my dog. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you. Okay, so get this. Go.
About to get
It's
kicked
about
off.
to not
Right.
about to cut off, but
What?
I think it's about to end. It says less than a minute, but
All right. You guys are
All right.
awesome.
Y'all have a good night.
you guys.
All right.
Too.
All right.
Friday night. Yeah.
Bye.